Hi, so just got back from a camp, literally just got back from a camp with Lee from Burton Outdoors and the lovely Tim from Born Outside down in Kent. I've got back to, I'm staying at an Airbnb in East Sussex currently, so I figured that now that I've had a shower, excuse the hair being a bit flat, and a little freshen up, I figured I've got to unpack my bag, so I'd give you a little loadout video. So here goes. So this time I chose to take my Osprey Atmos AG 65 litre backpack. I bought this purely for these sort of wild camp, bushcrafty type camp outs, because they're a little bit more robust and they carry a lot more weight, a lot more comfortably than something like my Durston packs, which are designed really for ultralight. So obviously they are heavier in themselves than a sort of an ultralight like Dyneema pack or something like that. Ultra 200 I think is the latest thing out there. But like I say, because of the frame and the system they use, the anti-gravity system, they carry really well. This I estimate to be about, or when we started, about 20 kilograms. I'll go through why as we go through the pack, but a fair amount of that, I guess, not not a lot, but a fair amount of that is down to the pack itself. So what we'll do is we'll start at the top and then we'll go around the outside like a buffalo girl, and we'll then dive into the inside stuff and see what's in there. So first of all, in the top, the brain of the pack, if you like, a lot of people call it the brain, some much needed bug repellent at this time of year. Now this is the Avon Skin So Soft stuff that a lot of people swear by. It's really kind on your skin, but I'm not sure it's up to much when it comes to full-on insects. I think I got bitten, well, I did definitely get bitten a couple of times last night, or through the day and last night, but I do think that that's possibly because I was up against the mesh of the hammock. So second item in the top there is the all-important toilet kit. So in there I've just got a Deuce of Spades trowel, sorry, some toilet paper, wet wipes, and I decanted some hand sanitizer into a little spray bottle. So that came in handy last night. So that's seems like the top of the pack. So, and then there's another pocket underneath the very top, so still in the brain section. First aid kit, and that's also got my sort of repair patches, tenacious tape and all that sort of stuff, in case I need to repair a tent or a tarp or whatever. In there I only carry very basic stuff, some painkillers, some lip balms, some anti-chafe, some antihistamines, and then there's a couple of bits of safety pins and extra earplugs, which is another good one to take. There's some Luco tape wrapped around a Sharpie, so I've got a pen in a hand all the time, and then there's a pair of tweezers, tick removing tools, and a miniature Victorinox, like Swiss Army, I think it's called the SD, tiny little thing with bits and pieces on it. Anyway, that's in that pocket, and then in that same pocket I have my fire starting kit, if you like. Let's just unwrap that. I've got that in a dry bag, obviously. to keep. So there's some char cloth in there, which I made last night out of an old Altoids tin. I picked up some silver birch bark, and then there's a couple of cramp balls in there, courtesy of Tim from Born Outside. Thank you, Tim, for seeking those out for me yesterday. And then I've also got one of these. I don't know if you've seen these before. They're rechargeable. It's a rechargeable lighter that works on electric current, so that's quite good for you know, emergency purposes. So you can charge that up off I think it's a micro USB. Alright, so let's just pop that back in the bag so it's not all over the place. So yeah, that's the fire starting kit. And then the last thing in the top there is my British Army issue Goretex waterproof jacket. Weather yesterday was a bit hit and miss. That's quite heavy, that one, but I thought it'd be quite good as an extra insulating layer just in case. The weather was raining when we left, or I left this morning, yesterday morning, and then it cleared up in the afternoon, so thankfully I didn't have to use that. So that's the top of the pack done. Now let's move on to the side pockets. Helinox Chair Zero. Probably, if anything, I'm a little bit too big for it, but it still provides some nice back support. It's quite low to the ground, very, very light, quite low to the ground, because I suffer, I can't just sit on the floor. I get serious backache from doing things like that. So that's a must for me all the time. Let's put that down there. Have a look, anything else in that pocket? No, so that's one side pocket. That's the left hand side. So in the right hand side pocket I had two 1 litre smart water bottles. These I bring back from America when I go there for work. I'm over there quite a bit, so because you can't get the 1 litre ones over here in the UK, when I go over there I always make sure I bring a couple of those back, empty obviously in the suitcase. Okay, anything else in that pocket there? So that's the two side pockets done. Let's do the hip belt pockets now. On one of the shoulder straps I just have a small microfibre pack towel on a carabiner, so as you probably have seen in the video, traipsing up that hill with 20 kilos on my back, I was getting pretty sweaty, so that's just nice just to mop the old brow as and when you need it. So one hip belt pocket is so that's a buff just in case I need to put something on in an emergency, or in a hurry I should say, and then a To Summit Headnet, which is actually got inbuilt insect repellent on it. Wasn't quite bad enough for that yesterday, but you know, when you need it, right? Okay, so the other hip belt pocket was just a mobile phone attachment for my tripod, just in case I wanted to use my phone if it was raining, for example. I'd probably put my camera away and use my iPhone, and that would screw directly onto this, which is also in the hip belt pocket. It's a tiny little selfie stick slash tripod, really light, made by a company called Ulanzie, which are quite popular on Amazon, and it wasn't too expensive. And also in the hip belt pocket was my Opinel Knife, my locking knife, I think it's a number 6. I've had this years, but they're great knives. They stay really sharp for a long time, and they're super light, and it also locks, so you can't open the blade by twisting the sort of the top half of the handle, and then obviously once you open it out you can twist it again and it becomes a lock knife. So I really like these. They're not the most flash knives, but really good, really good. And in my opinion, the other thing that's in that hip belt pocket, in my opinion, the absolute best head torch out there, which is the Nitecore, I don't know if you can say maybe that way around, Nitecore NU25 headlamp head torch. It's rechargeable via micro USB. It has 3 different white light brightness settings, and it's also got 2 settings for red light, with a red light. You can do a mod to make these, you know, marginally lighter with a bit of shock cord instead of the actual strap. I'm not that worried about it. This is quite comfortable to wear. You can also take the head torch out of the strap system and use it as a normal torch, but this thing I would thoroughly recommend before they stop making it, because there's a new version out now, the Mark II, which is getting very mixed reviews. I would suggest you get yourself one. They're pretty pricey, but best one out there by a million miles. And also I noticed last night that Tim had a head torch called a Sun Blesser, which looks almost identical to this. I don't know how much it cost, but I've heard good and bad things about those Sun Blesser ones. So my opinion, the original and still the best, the Nitecore NU25. Okay, so that's the hip belt pockets and the side pockets sorted. Let's spin the old pack around. Now, there's what they call a stuff it pocket, which is on the very, I'd say, back of the pack, I guess, which is made out of sort of like very stretchy material, so that's handy. So let's have a look what I put in there. I've got a feeling I know exactly what's in there. So in there, yes, here we go, is my Hammock tarp. This trip was the first time that I've used a hammock as a shelter, or hammock system as a shelter, and I've got to say, I think I'm going to be a fan. I don't think I'll ever stop tenting or using a tent, being a ground dweller, but I certainly had a good night's sleep and was really quite comfortable in a hammock. So this is the OneWind 12-foot tarp with doors. It's in a woodland camo pattern, like an old sort of, maybe, yes, I think it was on the 58, no, not the 58 webbing, sort of like the Soldier 95 type pattern. It's not a digital camo anyway. So I have attached 12 feet of Zing-It, I think it's 1.75 diameter, Zing-It ridgeline on each end, so that's 24 feet, so 12 feet each end, with a Dutchware Tarp Flyz as a means of securing the tarp around the trees. Couple of things I would probably mention with this. Number one, the camo print, you can see that it's a repeat in sort of like 3 or 4 sections. There may be 2 or 3 feet wide strip patterns, so you can see the repeat pattern. Not the end of the world, because I don't think I still think it's pretty camouflage, weirdly. So yeah, I'm not too sure about that. The other really good points about it are it has doors, it comes with all the guy ropes, all the sort of attachment points you could ever need. But yeah, perhaps I'll do a video one day just about the tarp. But yeah, I'd say I'll give that a really solid like 8 out of 10. That the other thing I would say is that's a 12-foot tarp and I've got a 12-foot hammock, so you've got to be really all over getting the tarp in the right position, otherwise there's a potential for where you might get a bit of, if it rained for example, you might get a bit of rain on one end of your hammock. Anyway, that's the tarp. See if there's anything else in there. Oh yeah, and the old trusty Silky F180 saw. Brilliant little saw. You can see sort of how it's probably 18 centimeters, I guess. I don't know. It's great for being portable. I would say I'd probably prefer it to be a little bigger, but the next one up is the Silky Big Boy, which is huge. So there you go, the Silky F180 saw. So there are also on the back of the pack 2 zippable pockets that sort of pack in behind that stretch pocket. On our way out yesterday, I had one of those full of beer, so that's obviously gone. And the other side, let's check the other side. So the other side, it's got my gloves, and they're wrapped up in a plastic carry bag because they smell pretty. You know, that's to stop the smell of bonfires and stuff kind of getting through too much into other stuff, and also when I store them at home, so they stay in that bag. So these are just leather gloves from Amazon. They're actually thinsulate, so they're pretty good for, like, you know, just general tasks, oven, you know, like oven gloves, general tasks around camp, sawing, handling wood, stuff like that. Excuse the rattle of the carry bag that's going over there. If you've watched the video of the wild camp that I put out recently, you'll notice that I started the day in one t-shirt and was wearing a different one for the rest of the day. Those that have got like keen eyes amongst you, that's because I was really wet by with sweat by the time we got up the hill. I knew that would be the case, so I did take an extra t-shirt, but I'll go through what I wore. But that was the only thing I just packed away in there. Was my Patagonia Capilene Cool, I believe they're called, like sort of dry fit t-shirt, black one. So that's that, and that is it for the outside of the pack. So let's go onto the inside to see what's happening with that. On the outside of the pack, I've just got like a size 4 S-Beaner, just because it's kind of handy to have. Sometimes you might need to hang the pack up, or, you know, hang something up over a branch, or perhaps even one of the carabiners for the hammock or tarp or whatever might fail. So just carry a bit of a spare in that respect. Right, so going into the middle. Now, bearing in mind, I'm not saying that I packed this like this on the way out, because obviously I had a few more bits and pieces in there, more food, more water, or not more water, but more food, beer, etc. So I've just kind of slung everything back in to get it back home. So probably, I think this was in the stretchy pocket, in the stuff it pocket on the way when we went. Just a little sit pad, quite handy for underneath the hammock. You know, when you're putting your boots on or whatever, and keep a little bit drier. So that's in there too. Food bag. I want to shout out to Wild Sky Gear. There's a young gentleman who I believe did some long distance hiking and started an eBay shop. So check him out. Wild Sky Gear. He makes stuff sacks, roll top bags, all sorts of pouches and things out of Dyneema composite fabric. This is his, I think it's a 14 litre maybe, or 20 litre, can't remember exactly. Just roll top bag for food, and I put a little carabiner on the top in case I ever really want to hang it in a tree. Not a problem for us over here in the UK. I can't remember the last time we saw a bear over here, but you never know. There's a lot of rodents around anyway. Excuse me, it's got Velcro at the top. Okay, so in here I took 2 dehydrated meals. I ate one. This is the one that I brought back, Mountain House, which I brought back from the US. This is the infamous breakfast skillet. I'm looking forward to trying that one day soon, actually. A little Ziploc bag with some condiments in it. There's a bit of olive oil, some French's mustard, a bit of mayonnaise. What else have we got? There's a load of bars, you know, some tea and coffee, my long handled spoon. In fact, that is a Life Venture long handled titanium spoon. And then I also, so yeah, just some cereal bars and stuff for snacks. I had, it's filthy actually, I have a titanium plate that also doubles up as a frying pan. Not terribly successful, but that's over at the sink over there, having been washed up, as well as I think it's a GIS folding spatula, little plastic folding spatula. So that was in there too. Now, my cook kit, so that goes in the top like that. That's a To Summit X mug. I'm sure you've all seen those before. That needs to be washed. Okay, this is like a foil rollable windshield, and in there is a Bic mini lighter. Okay, I also have a spare lighter in my first aid kit. Now, I built myself and used for the first time yesterday an alcohol stove. So this is what a lot of people refer to as a fancy feast stove. It is normally made from a Fancy Feast, which is an American cat food brand, tin, some carbon felt, which is between the two tins, and the inside is a tomato puree, or tomato paste as some people might call it, can. Various holes drilled in it. I followed an old video from Outdoor Adventures Frozen on how to make that, which I'll link in the description, so you can go make your own. But I've never used an alcohol stove before, and I was pleasantly surprised. Obviously it's slower than using gas, which is what I normally would use, but I thought let's get back to that, or let's be a bit more tranquil, because it's a lot quieter, and use one. Sorry about that. I think something flipped out with the camera there. Perhaps it didn't like me recording for so long. So yeah, Outdoor Adventures Fancy Feast stove, nice and quiet. It boiled 600 millilitres of water in about 7.5 minutes, and I just got some bio alcohol, so bioethanol I think it is, and put it in a small travel size Listerine bottle, and I reckon about a third of that bottle will boil that much water in 7 minutes. It does go on a little bit before, like a little bit further than that, but that's just an easy way to remember how much to put in. So that was good, that's in there too. So the cook kit, or the pot I use, is a Toaks Titanium 900. I modded it by putting some silicone onto the handles, so that works out really well. Great pot, very light, big fan of Toaks stuff. So and I also carry a little sponge slash scourer thing in there, just in case I do decide to do any cooking in it. Unlikely that I will. So that all fits into there, the stove as well, and then we will put that and the cup back into the little orange sort of mesh bag that it comes in, and that's that. So that's the cook kit and the food bag pretty much. Let's put that down over there. What else have we got in here? So my knee brace that I was wearing on the way up the hill yesterday, I just threw that in there. What have we got here? Little Dyneema pouch, which carries my anchor, shout out Durston gear, best tents in the world in my opinion, and obviously Yeti as well, because everyone knows them. Great cups, great coolers, great gear all round, but big up Durston. This is an Anchor 20,000 milliamp hour battery pack, you know, just power bank. So that, and a USB-C to lightning for my phone, and a USB to micro USB for head torch, and I think that's about all I needed electronics wise, like standard electronics wise. So that was in there. We'll get to that in a second. In here, in one of these To Summit dry bags, got my sleep clothes. So a pair of Patagonia like R1 fleece trousers, some Smart Wool thick merino wool socks. That was a long sleeved REI dry fit shirt that I took just in case, and a pair of No Show Darn Tough socks. Darn Tough, again, best socks out there for hiking and outdoor anything. Go check them out. I'm not going to link all this gear in the description. You've all got Google. I'll put a list, but I'm not going to do links for everything. So Darn Tough socks, amazing. REI top I didn't use because I just wore my t-shirt. Sleep socks I didn't use because it was warm enough, and I just changed my my normal trousers for these R1 fleece trousers when I went to bed. So there you go, spare clothes. In here is a Patagonia R1 Air hooded fleece. This one's like a burgundy colour. You probably saw me wearing it in the video. It's just a fleece basically. It did get a little bit chilly last night, just before, like around 1 o'clock before we went to bed. I had this on, and I had to go for my puffy jacket as well. Just a little chill in the air, not cold particularly, but I wore that R1 fleece for most of yesterday. This is just a little mole pouch that I had kicking around, and I didn't have anything else to put the camera gear in. So obviously the camera gear is what I'm filming this video on, so I can't really show you that, but spare battery for the camera, spare SD card for the camera. Bought these just before we went away, so I haven't unpacked that one. And I've found on Amazon a USB, there we go, standard USB battery charger, which takes USB-C on the other end, so you could essentially do USB-C to USB-C. So I can charge the camera batteries from the power bank. Speaking of camera batteries, this one's blinking. I'm just going to stop for a second and change the camera battery. Okay, so fresh-ish battery in the camera. So let's crack on before it happens again. So USB charger for the camera batteries. I'll get a different pouch for those. I just needed something to keep that separate. It's something that I need to work on actually, how I'm going to transport the camera when it's not in use filming. So the camera is the Canon G7X Mark II. The tripod is K&F Concept carbon fibre. Now it's still pretty chunky because I think this one goes up to 66 or 64 inches. Anyway, so that's that. And the microphone is the Rode Video Mic Go version 2 that I'm using, with a dead cat on it. Just leave the dead cat on it for indoors or outdoors. You tell me what you think about that. So anyway, okay, so moving on from the camera side of things, in here are the tree straps, pegs, or sorry, not pegs, tent stakes, and a small seal nylon ground sheet for underneath the hammock. Tree straps are 12-foot Dutchware spider poly tree straps, or tree huggers. They're just straight straps with a sewn loop at one end. I have got Dutch clips on those, and then they have the Beetle buckle suspension system at the hammock end. I'm not going to unpack them because it's a bit of a pain to roll them in and out. I'll probably throw some B-roll in because I think I took some pictures or took some footage of them on the camp. The tent stakes of choice always for me, for pretty much all conditions, are MSR Groundhog Minis. I use those for tenting, and I've just used those for the hammock to peg out the tie-outs for the hammock and the tarp. So that's basically the hammock suspension system and the tent stakes. So the hammock itself, the ever popular OneWind 12-foot zippered hammock. It does have a model name, but I don't think it goes by that in this country. The tarp and the hammock were purchased from Outdoor Gear Essentials. Shout out to Cole from South Coast Outdoors UK. I bought both of those bits from him. I bought the snakeskin that the tarp is currently in. I didn't mention that before. I put snakeskin over the top. I bought that from Amazon. I have modified the hammock by taking off the 2 cinch buckles at the end and putting my own continuous loops on, one in a silver and one in a dark grey, so I can easily identify head and foot end. It's not an asymmetrical hammock, it's just that I like to get in the habit of doing the things the same way around each time. Okay, very comfortable internal ridgeline, comes with a couple of Prosic knot hangers on the ridgeline and a ridgeline organiser. So go, if you want anything OneWind or anything else for that matter, go and check out Cole and his and Outdoor Gear Essentials. Great website, everything's great value for money over there. So there's the hammock. Another new addition to the kit is the Thermarest regular size compressible pillow. I'm not sure whether it's something that I take on long distance hikes or, you know, multi-day trips. It is quite heavy in terms of pillows, and it doesn't pack down that small, so it take up a lot of space. However, it is probably the most comfortable pillow I've slept on in an outdoor environment. I think I'd probably have to take an inflatable pillow to put underneath it. That's the problem with it, because I think it does, having such a massive heavy head, I think it would compress it down a little too much. But the point of the drawstring on it is you can pull that up and make it slightly firmer, but obviously that reduces the size of the pillow. Anyway, great pillow. Not sure whether that will be, I think this will end up being something that I only use for like overnighters, you know, wild camping sort of things, where I'm packing in and packing out quite a lot of heavier gear because it's, you know, short walks in and short walks out. Okay, so that is, and then obviously, there's a beanie kicking around in there, which I did wear for a little while last night, and then I was using it, but I didn't use it on the way out. It's a Nyla Foam pack liner, also available from Outdoor Gear Essentials, as super ultra light, very noisy, but great pack liner. I don't think I'd use anything else. That's the way to go. All right, so this pack actually has a separate compartment, if you like, at the bottom of the bag, in which the most popular thing to put in there is your sleeping bags, or, you know, quilts, whatever, which is what I did. The problem with, you can remove the partition inside the bag, which makes it one big black hole. I just didn't bother. So in this bottom compartment, or the bottom of the bag, I have got the OneWind Sil Nylon ground sheet. It's very thin. It's about 1 meter by 70 centimeters light in sort of area. Could probably do with something thicker and slightly larger, but it does the job. Obviously the thing is, if you want something bigger, thicker, larger, much heavier, so I think I'll probably stay with that. That's in there. In this dry bag is my puffy jacket, which is a Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer 2 in black. Super expensive jacket, super expensive jacket. Bought for when I did the South Downs Way. It's a great 2 to 3 season puffy jacket. I think if you're going to be doing any serious winter camping, you either need to really layer up, or if you're going to take one sort of puffy jacket, you want something a bit more substantial with this than this, and it is very delicate. You have to handle with care because it is ultralight. So love the jacket, absolutely love it, but, you know, word to the wise, it's as is with a lot of the ultralight stuff, it's very expensive and very it's not very hard wearing, if you like. You have to take good care of it. So that's that in its own little dry bag where it stays. Okay, so now on to the rest of the down stuff. Right, so that's it for the bag, for the backpack. So in these two, okay, a few leaves. In these two dry bags are my quilts. We'll start with the new edition. These see To Summit Event Evac dry bags. The jury's out for me on them, to be perfectly honest. Alright, so this, now I'm just going to make sure I'm going to find the label so I don't tell you I'll tell you it's called something that it's not. Now I believe, there we go, this is the Mountain Hardware incubator underquilt, 850 downfill and the 20 degrees Fahrenheit version, which is -6. I ordered the long one because I'm right on the cusp of between the sizes, so I'm 6'2", and that is the maximum that the standard length goes to. So this one will go to anyone up to 6'7". It's a full length quilt. Pros of the incubator are that it's shaped, so it's wider at the sort of head end and sort of tapers down, almost like a mummy bag, sleeping bag shape, at the foot end, because obviously your legs tend to be narrower than your shoulders. I don't know, do they? Anyway, that's their thought process. It has a couple of different adjustments. The primary suspension basically hangs the thing. The sort of secondary suspension you can adjust by way of line locks to put it one way or the other way, so further towards your feet and further towards your head, depending on how far up or down the hammock you are or where you want the majority of the coverage of the underquilt. And then there's a really thin, it must be like 1/8 of an inch shock cord which goes through the end, and that draws in or gathers in the end of the underquilt, and then so to stop any drafts passing through underneath you. And then it's also got, these aren't really pros, are they? This is what it does. So it has a draft collar, separate draft collar, so even if it shifts slightly at one end, the gap between, let's say, the hammock and the quilt itself, that draft collar will pick up the gap, draft excluder, you know. So that's really good. I like that. It doesn't work. It does work. However, it's probably designed for one of Hammock Gear's hammocks, because the D-rings that are supposed to attach to the hammock to keep the sides of the quilt up the sides of the hammock, so therefore you're not slipping in and out, don't line up with the sort of clips on the OneWind hammock. So I've had to do a little mod with some miniature carabiners and some shock cord to get them to link in, but other than that, it's really good. The one thing I did have a problem with the first time I set it up in practice were the S-beaners on the end, right? It comes with two plastic, I think they're size 3 S-beaners. One white for the head end, one black for the foot end. Which is good, so you can identify which end you're, you know, as you put it out the bag, and you're not messing around. However, straight away I hung them and the gates just gave way. So Hammock Gear, if for any reason you are listening to this or watching this, maybe try size 3, but the aluminium ones. I've actually gone to size 4 because I couldn't find any size 3s, and these are aluminium. I'll probably swap these out for smaller ones when I actually eventually find them, because these are full on and they're a little bit, they obviously add quite a fair bit of weight. That's the Hammock gear incubator. I actually imported that from Hammock Gear in the US. Okay, and now, last but not least, my trusty top quilt. I think in hindsight, I probably would, if I'd have been a bit more confident in my ability to go hammock camping, I would have gone for a UGQ underquilt, but they were more expensive and heavier. However, that old mantra, you get what you pay for, that Hammock Gear quilt was a budget quilt. It wasn't a custom made quilt, so it was an off-the-shelf version. This is my custom UGQ Bandit XL long wide 20-degree top quilt. If you look at any of my videos, you'll see me using this. It is absolutely amazing. So huge shout to UGQ Outdoors. They are not cheap, but believe me, they are worth every single penny, and pretty much everyone you'll talk to with regards to UGQ down products will tell you that their temperature ratings are comfort ratings and not survival ratings. This, like I say, is a 20 degrees, so this will go down to -6 degrees centigrade. I'll never get there, but the good thing about this and the Hammock Gear quilt, the combination last night, I was so cozy, so cozy, but I just wasn't hot because they're both down 850 fil. They breathe, and the materials they're made from breathe really well. So at not one point did I feel too hot. I was just so comfortable. Right, well, I think that pretty much concludes the video. What I was wearing, there we go. That'll tell you. So it'll take me 2 seconds. Where have I put them? All right, so bottom half, Fjällräven Vida Pro trousers. These are pretty robust. They're quite a heavyweight. They're not really a summer trouser, but they're made of Fjällräven's G1000 fabric. Amazing, not cheap at all, but wonderful trousers, wonderful company. I wear Fjällräven shorts and trousers for work. They are 100% the best outdoor trousers around, in my limited humble opinion. Fjällräven trousers. And then just the other t-shirt I was wearing, an REI dry fit green t-shirt, brought in our REI in LA, and the trusty Yeti cap. Right, and on my feet I had darn tough socks, as I mentioned, and my Mindall Goretex hiking boots. Again, Mindall, you don't really need to say anything about those, do you? They're amazing. Obviously it's not something I'd wear on a multi-day hike unless I was in it was that time of year where it was soaking wet and really cold. I'm a big advocate for trail runners, but yesterday I didn't really fancy wet feet, to be honest, for the whole day, so I went with the boots because the weather was on and off rain. Right, okay, so definitely this time, that's it. I want to give a big shout out to Lee at Burton Outdoors, to Tim at Born Outside. Both of their channel links will be in the description below. Cole from Outdoor Gear Essentials, Henge Hammocks as well. They're another company that I've discovered recently, supplying. That's where I bought the Dutchware tree straps and the Dutchware additions for the OneWind hammock. Great company, speedy service. They seem to, you know, really good. So give them a look up. I'll put a link for Cole and a link for Henge Hammocks in the description below. Please, if you've enjoyed the video, give it a like. Give me a subscribe if you want to see some more of this sort of content. It's quite sporadic at times, unfortunately, because I do go away traveling for work a lot, and I don't get a chance to go out that often. But you know, just it doesn't cost you anything, does it, to give me a sub, and it'll help spread the word. Anyway, so stay cool out there, stay safe, and thanks very much for watching, and I really hope that I get to see you all again very, very soon. Thanks again, see you later.